Hey, good evening, everybody. Episode 10, Frank's Battleground. I'm down a light because I didn't charge it, so excuse me if half my face is lit up. We got a pretty cool show lined up. As you can see, we've got a full host of people in here for tonight's show. We've got Adam from Racing Through Heroes, Steven from Hidden Wounds, and Jason, a face you have not seen, from Not Today BCP. Actually, you may have seen him in some of our posts. We did a fundraiser here in Slidell, Louisiana, a month or two ago. He was out there with us, tagging us all over Instagram and all that kind of jazz. So, cool deal. Hey to Lou. Hey, all present. What's up, buddy? Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started because we got a pretty cool guest. And I'm pretty sure if you've watched this show for the last 9 times, you probably can figure out who this is. Nick, I'm sick as crap, bro. Sorry. Yeah, well, excuses are like assholes. Anyway, okay. So I think it'd be kind of George and I, and really George put together a really good news thing for this today. But I think with everything going on, I think it would not be, we would do it a disservice by not talking about it in some way. We're going to try to keep this as politically centered. We're not going to be crazy with it. News only lasts 15 minutes anyways, because then we're going to bring in our guest. So bear with us. But I think what's happening now, and you guys, you've probably seen this as well. And I know, Steven, I think Lance is actually in Dayton, Ohio right now, correct?
Yeah, he is.
What's he doing up there?
He likes to, they call him up for things like that. He goes into a lot of the program that he handles where kind of goes and helps law enforcement with PTSD and things like that, where a lot of the guys might not want to ask for help or know how to ask for help. And his program, Broken Focus, is that's exactly what it focuses on. And so
yeah,
he's had to help out a lot of guys who have gone through traumatic events. So the crime scene, I'm sure, was pretty horrific, and so we gotta look out for our first responders and their mental health as well.
Yeah, and that's something that we at USMC Racing have realized is we did a little bit of digging a couple of months ago, and we kind of rough estimate across the board, Seattle to Miami, Bangor, Maine to LA. About 40% across the board for first responders are either current military, so they're reservist, Army National Guard Reserve. I think I may be missing a couple, Air National Guard and all that kind of stuff, or we're prior military. So for us, at least, that's a huge missed opportunity for us not to open up our doors, car doors, to get those kind of guys and gals behind the wheel as well. So that's huge for us, and we're really excited that's going to be coming online here soon. And eventually we're going to have a show that's just about us, so that everyone out there watching actually has an idea of what we're doing, and we're not just bringing on excellent people every week. So one thing that came up, and this came up, I think, the last couple of unfortunate mass shootings, but the red flag law, I think people are concerned about it. One, for those, certain people probably think it doesn't do enough. Others, staunch supporters of the Second Amendment, etc., are they don't want it. I mean, you're talking about essentially your neighbor or a disgruntled family member can call the police, and next thing you know, you're losing your guns. It's interesting to read certain people's proposals on it. For example, a governor out of Oregon says the proposed new version of the red flag law would be considered an extreme protection order, allows police or close family members to get a court order to remove the firearms from someone who appears to be a danger to themselves or others. But what he goes into saying, it would be only for 3 days. The city, state, federal, whatever, would have 3 days to then figure that out. And if they don't do anything by the 3 days, they got to give them back. I don't know. I feel like, what's interesting about this, I saw a meme on Facebook earlier, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was basically, the same people that tell Facebook that your Facebook posts are hurting their feelings and getting your page banned or yourself banned are probably the same ones calling on you because you have guns at your house. So it's scary to think that just kind of the way this looks anyways, anybody can really do this. What do you guys think?
I think it's a double-edged sword. It's been proven that it could help prevent tragedies such as mass shootings. However, it being such a subjective, personal feeling based attempt to stop something, like you said, it just takes one person who doesn't
Yeah.
or they don't like what you go ahead and essentially take away your Second Amendment rights. So
Yeah. And so
it's too.
yeah, and I got a pretty good meme, or this not a meme. What is this? Like a newspaper cartoon. So we got here. There's a bunch of steps, and you got a guy looks a little snaggletooth, and then the bottom steps is saying access to mental health care. Up at the top, what looks to be a shrink smoking a pipe, but on the right, basically it's this open door, and it just says guns. I think this is just a massive misrepresentation of reality. That's not true. I think for a lot of people, they think that that's kind of how it goes. They think of the oh man, what's his name? The guy behind the American Sniper story.
Yeah, Chris Koff.
Yeah. I think people look at that and like, oh, this guy was a lunatic, went out to the range with him and had guns and kind of did it to himself. But I think it's deeper than that. And the problem is people, all they want to do is get rid of the guns, but there's no proposals on what are you going to do when you take them all away. Like, I had a friend of mine on her page. She posted a big long tweet or something that Obama had pushed out, and I messaged her on her post and I said, this is great, but what about me? I don't leave the house without my conceal. When I'm with my family, my conceal is with me at all times, period. I've got 10 in the magazine and 1 in the chamber. I don't play around. I'm not playing this game where seconds matter, right? And so I said to her, so what you're doing is taking away my ability to protect my family. And of course, no response. And it's like, what's your plan? What's your plan to protect me and my family? And it's really kind of crazy. These people just come up with these schemes, really, and not with no solution.
Well, we police our own. We haven't had to do it in a while, but when we get a message from a family member or a friend, and they tell us, my loved one, my brother, my sister, my uncle, my whatever, they've been posting some scary things, and I'm scared of what they might do. They might hurt themselves, or they might hurt someone else, and they have guns. And so, our protocol from there is, do they have it right now? Is it out, or where is it? And in that situation, then we get law enforcement involved if we need to.
Yeah.
If they don't have it out, but they know they have it and they're scared, we ask, when we get involved and we talk to the veteran and we ask them, how would you feel if we take hold of that gun and give it to somebody that you trust?
Yeah.
Until you feel that you're able to have it again. Because if the police come and they take it, the chances of you getting that gun back are not great.
Pretty slim.
And so now you're pissed off at us, and now you're pissed off at whoever you told. But that's, for us, that's just policing our own for somebody that we might be worried about. And not just saying that the only way that they're going to take their life is with a gun, because we know that that's not the case. I mean, if someone's hell bent on wanting to take their life, there's a lot of ways to do it. Obviously, gun is the highest percentage of what people use, but as vets, I mean, the rifle, the firearm, I mean, that's an extension of who we are. And it gives us that sense of safety and security and belonging and all those things that we miss. And so, telling someone that you're going to take that away from them,
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but we have to understand too that if you're in a situation where, like, exactly like it is a red flag, buddy, I care about you,
Right.
and if me holding on to it for a little bit is gonna give me peace of mind,
Right.
and know that you're not going to use it on yourself or someone else, then that's what we're going to do. And once we're able to, that we know that you're in a better place, you'll get it back.
Yeah. And I think that's what a lot of people need to understand. I think that a couple of these rewrites that I've seen, anyways, have said in there, they basically give that county, that whatever, 3 days to figure it out. You got 3 days. You take his guns, hair guns. You got 3 days to figure it out. But not all of them say that. And it's unfortunate that it has to come to this. I wish there are. It's I don't know. It's frustrating.
Hey Brian, I got something to say. That cartoon that you put up there.
Yeah.
I think everyone's initial reaction is that a struggling that has a hard time help they need, and that's what that picture is trying to. I would almost say that more than not our own personality. Most vets I'll stick out to someone who knows fear their superior or being looked upon differently. But so that picture taken both. Is it a systematic boundary, or is it our own personal, mental boundary?
Yeah. Well, and so my question is, and I don't know, maybe the 13 people that are watching can tell us, the statistics of the shooters, right? Let's just call it the last 3 years. How many of them were even military? I mean, were these two guys from the one in Dayton and the one in El Paso even military? But that's what these red flag laws seem to target. So it's like it's a wonder as to why this is even happening. Why are you targeting a group that, anyway, at face value, anyways, doesn't appear to be the problem? So I don't know. It's just interesting. I don't know. Kind of a weird newscast this week. So sorry, not the usual happy-go-lucky, but I think we'd be remiss if we didn't mention it. Our condolences, obviously, to the families, the first responders, and had to deal with all that stuff. It's pretty wild. So, without further ado, we're going to bring in our awesome guest. If anyone, like I said at the beginning of the show, if you guys have noticed, there's someone missing. So, unmute yourself. Ba-da-da-da. Bink! There he is. What's up, buddy?
Welcome.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good. How are you? It's weird that you're a guest now.
Sorry, I missed the news. It's kind of weird being on the other side of the fence.
Yeah, I'll bet. I hope that doesn't happen to me, because I'd be like, oh my God, what are they doing? I can't talk at all. So obviously everyone knows who you are. So I met you in Jason's office, the guy who's below me, that guy right there. I met him in his office and went to talk to Jason about God only knows what. Probably something that has to do with Not Today BCP. Or when I should eat my turkey in the morning before I work out.
That's right. Guns. How to get some real guns in your life.
Yeah.
Listen,
how you stay in the Marine Corps. Better yet, how you stay on active duty. That's important.
I don't want to. So that's when we first met. It was kind of... What?
10 days.
Listen, no one's counting, okay? Nobody cares that you're leaving the Marine Corps in 10 days. Anyways, so met him then. Kind of like, hey, what's up? Oh, no, Chief Warrant Officer. Don't talk to me. I'm a 5. Back up. And so I went on my merry way. And a couple of months went by. We were doing an event in New Orleans here at the racetrack. It was probably our fifth event race we were doing. And he came out, did a whole bunch of filmography, and it was super cool, man. Matter of fact, if you go to Trident Productions' Facebook page, it's their cover photo, which is super cool. A lot of the stuff that he's done for himself, his own projects, and obviously us as well. So why don't you tell us about you and where you are with what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I've been into photography since I was, or some type of artwork since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, drawing as a little kid, and then that turned into photography in high school. I was going to go into the Marine Corps as a photojournalist, but young and dumb and full of great ideas, I decided to go to boot camp a couple months early. And so it took me a while to be able to get moved into combat camera, deployed on numerous occasions, 3 times to Iraq, Bahrain for 14 months, Central America, because I habla, and a slew of other places that, as a matter of fact, Jason and we went to Mexico, to the Marine Leaders of the America Conference, and, it was a great time. But I definitely cannot complain about my tour in the Marine Corps, but it is coming to a close, which means that now I'm having to figure out what I'm gonna do when I grow up, and I think we're on our way to hopefully making movies or at least do some commercial work.
Oh yeah. So let's be clear though, Jason didn't go down there because he habla. He looks good in chucks.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And real. I really don't know what Jason did.
He walked around with muscles. Look at me. That's what he did.
I can't say that. I can't say that because there was a couple times that he had to take the paper to the embassy, and I went with him just for the hell of it. So
probably the only time I worked in Marforez was that trip.
But Jason and I actually been friends for a very long time. He was Mr. Lejeune. I know it says Mr. Universe, but I knew him as Mr. Lejeune. And that's when we were stationed in Camp Lejeune, before both of us came to Marforez. And then I saw him in the hallways of Marforez one day, and I was like, holy crap. We just, kept in touch. And then I ended up helping him out with Not Today BCP, doing a couple videos for him, and helping him out with his with logo design work. And then that's how I ended up meeting you. And after that, we decided that USMC Racing needed to be center for for a call to action, which we ended up deciding mental health was where we thought we needed to be at right now.
Right, and so that's perfect segue into why everyone's watching. If you guys remember watching episode, I don't remember what number, so Steven, don't be mad at me. When we brought in Hidden Wounds, mostly Georgie did a really cool video. Unfortunately, I haven't really figured out how to use the eCam program as much as I probably should to have like a link up here somehow. But if you go to Trident Productions Facebook page, it's got the same logo you see next to his name. The video is there, and we're going to show you live to 13 people that are watching the trailer for his movie. So stand by a sec for that.
Come on, devil, you can take him down.
Dear Kyle, I'm sorry that I have to do it like this, but between all the deployments, I can't do it anymore.
Awesome. I got goosies, man. That was good. I love that. That's just a great thing.
So first and foremost, let me say something. My son, he's 16 years old. He's an aspiring writer. He was the lead writer for this story. The only thing I did was give them the base for the idea, and then he helped write the majority of that movie. And I'm proud of him because that goes to show that your family notices the pain that you go through. You just got to let them in order for them to be able to help you out.
Yeah.
And they also see it from a different perspective because you may be able to replay what you think is being perceived, but what other eyes see.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very, very, very true.
absolutely.
Totally different.
Yeah, absolutely. And we had a good time putting some of this stuff together here. Let's see. What's
Talking to other people.
Thought he was done. Sorry. It like skipped. I thought you were done talking. My bad. Oh, we're
Yeah, but that movie, we did it for a 48-hour film festival. So we had 48 hours to write the movie. We didn't even know what genre we were getting until the start of the 48 hours. So we had 48 hours to write the movie, shoot the movie, edit it, and then get it turned in time. You know, the team was amazing. Everybody who helped out did a great job. Brian did a fantastic job helping us build a camera dolly from scratch.
that's what's on the screen now, people.
Yeah, so that camera dolly looks like it's very expensive and that it was made by some professional dolly company. Nope, that was that was John Lee, Brian, and myself. And my son working on that dolly.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah,
Let's not worry about where it came from. Let's worry about what it is currently. Okay, don't judge. Also, I'm wearing proper PPE. Those aren't sandals. Those are actually boots that look like feet.
Yes, they are. Those are my feet.
Steel toes. Yeah, steel-toed boots that look like feet.
Aren't you supposed to be wearing gloves?
Listen,
Yeah,
no,
something like that.
listen, Mr. Universe,
Right?
I'm hard, okay? I don't wear gloves when I weld.
More pair of gloves in your life. Your hands are probably smoother than freaking a baby's booty.
Who, this guy? What?
Brian? I mean,
Okay.
what's it called? No, I'm talking about Jason.
Jason? Oh, dude, he totally cocoa butters every night. You're not tricking this guy at all. I've seen his skin on the daily. It's beaut.
It is. It's very smooth.
It is very smooth. Also hairless, which is fantastic. Water glides off.
But going back to the movie, we definitely wanted to think about the PTSD aspect of the movie. So we had 100% in mind USMC racing and Hidden Moons when it came to making this movie. So I'm glad that Steve was able to do the show with us, because that was one of our inspirations. Having that what's that called? The show with Steve really brought into focus a lot of what we do as a support mechanism for USMC racing.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, we appreciate that. I mean, you can't do enough of this. You just can't.
No, and that's why we look forward to actually meeting you guys in September and getting all the classes. I can't wait to do that stuff, man. That's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's great what we do, but you guys are going to give us courses and give us like legit viability on this. You know, we're not just going to be a race team that just gets people behind the wheel or picking up a fuel can. We're going to be able to have an organic ability to counsel people and help them, you know, if they have problems. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
That's my excitement for sure.
One of my good friends got out of the Marine Corps. He just texted me and said, "I wish I could join because I would." Do you wanna? Because I'll add him in here and I'll mess this show all up, and then all of our names can go all over the place.
There you go.
I'm not changing it. So that's right up our alley, Kyle. Because I know you're watching, even though you were late. I cried a little bit when you weren't the first person to comment. We're not going to talk about that. So we'll move on to a couple more pictures here. What do we got? What are we doing here? Why does this do this to me? Oh, there it goes. All right. So I actually didn't know you did this. You're like in full scuba kit. Like, what is going on?
Oh, yes. So that was the first movie that I ever worked on. My best friend, that's not named Brian, Barry Anderson. He's a film director up in Minnesota, and we did a movie. And I wish you would have had the photo on there, but this is actual lake water, and we filled a basement with lake water, and we were filming, and I wasn't even supposed to be up there to be the cinematographer.
Yeah.
I went up there just to help him out because I was the graphics guy on the show, on the movie set, and just helping him out around and learning and seeing things. None of them were scuba qualled, and they didn't check. And the guy who was supposed to be filming couldn't film underwater with his head underwater because it was lake water, and he couldn't see anything, and he just had some type of claustrophobia.
Oh,
so my
Lord.
friend looks at me and he says, "Dude, I need you to take these shots." And I'm like, "Excuse me?" I'm like, "There's no way, dude. You want to mess up this movie?" And he's like, "Dude, I trust you." And that was my first experience. And I went ahead and I filmed underwater for this movie. Now, let me tell you, on my webpage after this show, I will go ahead and put on the link. You can go onto Vimeo and you can rent it. It's like $3.99 to rent it. It's a good watch. It's a very, very kind of like a psychological thriller almost, but it's like a psychological drama. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I did all of the underwater cinematography for it, and my back when I came out of that lake water was bit with all kinds of welts. So it was a great experience. And oh, by the way, I drove. And it was 22 hours, and I left at 7 o'clock at night to go back home.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
So is that other guy kind of like those memes where it's like you lied on your resume until you showed up to the actual job?
No, no, man. The way that these works, he gave me credit. He gave me credit as a cinematographer and a graphics guy. So I took leave for it. I was gone for 2 weeks to go work on this movie set. So it was a great experience.
So I'm having a technical difficulty here. Somehow, all of our videos went out of the program. So we're just going to move on to
Pictures.
Yeah. Well, I don't know where the heck they all went. Okay, that came up, but we weren't talking about that. God, this is such a mess. I don't understand why this. Oh, come on.
I thought you once just for me be able to get all of this right.
No, this would never work out. Okay, so you're taking was this when you went to the master class?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know why that picture came up, but I went to the master class in Los Angeles, California. So the American Society for Cinematographers is the elite of the elite for cinematographers. So if you ever watch the end credits of a movie and you look up where it says director photography, right? If they have the initials ASC at the end of their title, that means that they're a part of this organization. It is not a what's that called? A guild. It's not a guild. This is a separate type of organization where they are they care more about education of future artists. And so if you look in the photo at the bottom, so the three gentlemen there. So the guy to the right that has the beard, right? Yeah. That's Charlie Lieberman. So if you ever seen the show Heroes or Joan of Arcadia, he's the guy who filmed those.
Oh, okay.
And then the guy to the far left, that's David Darby. David Darby is his specialty is commercials, and all of like the Nissan commercials or that Ford Tough commercial where it's got voice of Dennis Leary, and it says, it's got all the cool letters and all that kind of stuff. Well, the truck portion to that, he films all of that stuff.
Okay.
Cool. And the guy that's next to me is, his name is Yuli Steigler, and Yuli is he's got a repertoire of films under his belt. He did. The Matthew Broderick version of Godzilla. He did 10,000 BC. He did Mission Impossible. He's done all kinds of stuff.
Cool. Well, Ginge Man, welcome. Glad you got you in the show, man.
Yeah. Since you want to call me out because I'm too sick, I might as well show my face for a couple minutes.
Don't get us sick on here. That'd be gross.
It's just a cold.
Okay, so quick, everybody. So this is my really good friend Nick. I've known him for quite a long time. I used to travel a lot from Shindan, Afghanistan to Herat, Afghanistan, just for kicks to go see him.
Just to see me, and
just to
he
see
wanted to
him.
look at my beard all the time.
It was pretty. It was
It
pretty
is a pretty
majestic.
beard, man.
It was pretty majestic. It's pretty majestic. I had a pretty awesome mustache. I had to actually part it when I had to eat. It was so far down on my face. It was fantastic.
Wow.
The lifestyle he had to live.
It was
Looking like the guy on the box of Monopoly.
yeah, basically. Okay, so let's get back to you. So let's see what do we got here. Some more pictures. Come on, what is this thing doing? There we
As
go.
you can see,
look at this.
I've had a good life.
Yes.
I've had some adventures in my life.
Yes, you have. So here are your first 2 times messing around with USMC racing. So on the left here, folks, that was him getting all crazy set up in the car when we were doing a race here in New Orleans. And on the right is when we were doing the film for the commercial that we did, How Do You Prep for Race Day? As a matter of fact, for the 13 people watching, we will be posting that video again here in the next couple of days. So that'll be good. So what was interesting, everyone out there watching, when we had George come out to do the NOLA thing, it was pretty fast paced. And he felt like he was getting in the way, but I promise we got some really cool shots of us working on bumpers and I mean, you see him in there setting up cameras. As a matter of fact, we had one of his cameras in the car when one of our drivers hydroplaned at like about 110 miles an hour, spun out and went up into the grass and basically blew the intake apart. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but that was pretty wild.
Sounds like a scene.
That was really fun to watch.
It was
not for him, but for us.
Yeah. Well, then so we're all sitting there, and then he goes, "What did he say?" He's like, "Guys." Did he say anything else? I think that's all he said. He was
like, he said, "Oh shit."
Well, no, that was in the video, but I'm talking on the radio. So
right, yeah.
So it was raining. Side note: I stream on my TV and my iPhone, so you get your viewer count up. Thanks, Kyle. So 2 of our 11 belong to Kyle Fisher of Hot Shot Secrets. 2 thumbs up for you, buddy.
I just want to say my dad just popped on there, so I wanted to give him a shout out. Love you, Dad. Thanks for watching.
Your dad was the first one to.
No, that's my father-in-law.
Actually.
That's my father-in-law. My dad, my blood dad.
Yeah. Your bio sperm donor.
Papa.
Yeah, that. It was raining, and I think he spun out. He just, "Hey guys," and that's all we heard. And we're like, well, "What the hell does that mean?" And we all running over to the fence, like, "What's going on? Like, where is he?" And our car was the only one that had yellow lights in the center, 2 yellow lights. Yep. So it was very, very obvious where we were on track. And we never saw the car come around for like a good 5 minutes. So we knew there was a problem. And then finally he comes around, and the freaking track worker ripped the bumper off. Oh man, what a nightmare. Man.
But I'll tell you what, you did some really pretty work on that grinding, and
I did.
That shot is an awesome transition on my portfolio right now. So,
well, he's a much better grinder than he is welder.
This is true.
Yeah. I don't know, man. He had some really nice dimes on that what's it called, the dolly cart that we did.
That is true. Yeah. That is true. Those welds weren't that bad. I mean, they stuck.
Brian's learned a lot over the past few years with us building old Henry and stuff like that.
That's true, yeah.
He's bypassed anything I know about building that now.
That's stupid. That freaking truck, man. God.
That thing was something else.
That was fun.
It was loud.
It was very, very loud. It was very, very loud. Oh, my gosh. So speaking of cars, real quick, so Steven, I was talking with Lance earlier. You guys have a Mercury Marauder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was talking to him earlier, and not to detract, but I want to let you know we are going to go put up a post for a fundraiser for you guys to try to get that car bought. Hopefully, one of the 4,200 people that follow our page is going to want to buy a Mercury Marauder. I want it. If I had that money, I would totally buy that thing. It's beautiful. It's sick. It's like olive drab green with like metal flake. Oh man, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, he takes care of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So,
is it a Lemon's car? Or car?
that I would never put that on a Lemons track. No, that car is beautiful. As a matter of fact, I would daily this thing. This thing is just freaking gorgeous. I have a whole bunch of groups of people out there in Facebook land. Woo-boo-boo. I'll tell you, if you guys want it, you guys need to talk to Hidden Wounds. That thing is pretty. Okay, anyways. So, George, what's the plan? You get out in 10 days.
Yep, I sure do.
What are you doing with your life?
Well, as a matter of fact, I got a message from someone in the local area that saw our movie and said that they're looking for submissions for another film festival here locally. So we're probably gonna fix a couple things on that one because it was a 48-hour film, but we're gonna try to fix a couple things with that and submit it for some film festivals, and then eventually we're looking at trying to make that into a feature.
Oh yeah.
And I actually have an idea of a movie, and I might try to connect the two, where it's dealing with homeless veterans and the mental health issues that are related to that, and the transition between from going serve active duty to the civilian life.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the reasons why we started this, and that was one of our initial missions was that. But then we met up with Steven and Lance from Hidden Wounds. It's like, wait a minute, we can make this so much better. So that's great.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, last night I talked to my buddy Barry, and he agreed to direct it. So
cool.
It's he's huge into the military. Always been. I've known him for probably 17 years, and he's done a lot for our Marines as far as getting them trained to be cinematographers for the Marine Corps. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Well, and then what are your right hand dudes, whatever? And Trident Productions is a prior Marine too, right?
Yeah, John Lee. John Lee is a gaffer in the film industry here in New Orleans, and what a gaffer is they're the guys who do all the lighting for the movies, right? So whenever you see like the teal and blue and orange look in a movie, those are the light techs making sure that the lights are hitting correctly onto the subjects.
Yeah.
So he's a part of Trident Productions, and he's the head gaffer, and so is my wife. My wife is also a part of it. She is a music composer and an actress.
Sweet. So Jason, are you going to hire them for your next gym scene or what?
Yeah. We might have a little project coming up soon.
Yeah, we're talking. Jason and we've been talking about this for a while, trying to get him into the gym. So I think we struck a calendar date. Say again?
A specific gym, not just like going to like Gold's.
No, it's a specific gym. This gym is bad. This gym is badassery, and what's it called? But hopefully we can get this project put up there and get a little bit of motivation out of not BCP. I did one for them. What was that, Jason? Maybe about a year and a half ago?
Yeah, I did a little video. It went off pretty good.
It did. It went off pretty well. So this one's going to be, more Jason trying to, give some of his famous quotes that he gives out throughout his webpage. And those of you who don't follow NTBCP, you should. He puts up some really good stuff over there. He tends to be funny at times, but he also puts up a lot of good motivational stuff that will keep you trying to stay fit even after you get out of it.
Ginger doesn't need to stay fit. He climbs poles all day.
I try.
What you talking about? He looks like he could bear wrestle both you and me together.
I just keep power on. That's all I do.
That's all good.
Okay, so one of the guys on our page, Ryan. So this is to you, George. He said, if you guys ever want or need security for a film location, he and his canine will gladly volunteer his services.
Hell, wait, maybe we're going to do a movie with the canine. Who knows?
Ooh. Dude, that's a pretty. I tell you, that's a pretty dog. If oh gosh, you know the name of this dog, Belgian Malinois. If Belgians weren't crazy, I would totally own one. I don't have the time for that. They're bananas. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. Any working dog, you gotta keep them doing something, or they're gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
You don't call it working for nothing.
Yeah. Our dogs just go nuts for like hot dogs and leftover dinner. That's the only thing they go nuts for. And then our cat, I don't know where that thing went, but like my daughter last night was trying to teach it tricks with like cat treats, and she would just like, if you put it in front of her and you try to like bring her, she would just stop and like would just turn away until you would like give it back. It was crazy. That cat is so. And then if she hears the bag, she comes running no matter where she is. You like, oh man, fat ass damn cat.
Well, Brian, tell me who your friend's name is later on after the show, and we'll reach out. But we definitely, we're trying to figure out some things as far as getting off to get some of these movies and hit home a little bit to the veterans and the mental health issues that we deal with.
That's really going to kick off in September when we're able to link up with Steven and Lance and all of his crew, and and Ginger will be there too, and Adam, if you wanted to come down from Fayetteville area, all that jazz, like it. Or no, you're not in Fayetteville. You're up in Richmond, Virginia, right?
I'm Fayetteville.
Where?
I'm Fayetteville.
Oh, you are Fayetteville?
He's Fayetteville. He said Fayetteville, yeah.
I mean, that's a huge opportunity for us to link up. We can do, I mean, the photos, the social media aspect of it, and then, of course, the courses you guys are giving us. We've got a guy who's donating a fifth wheel RV, so guys and gals have a place to get out of the sun.
Nice.
Watch their face, their hands, and go get some rest and all that kind of stuff.
Are you talking about the September event?
Yeah, September 14, 15. So if anybody watching out there, if you're going to be in and around the Kershaw, South Carolina area, which is essentially Columbia, September 14 and 15, we will be there in force with Hidden Wounds all weekend, racing our hearts out. Hopefully not breaking down.
Are you full up on that, Brian?
So
you're gonna put me to work. I know you are.
Yeah, I will put you to work. You're damn right. I'm ordering another set of safety equipment. So your ass can go do something.
Oh God.
Are you full up on seats for that, Brian?
So, no. As a matter of fact, I am not. So, we are working on getting an additional car. It's something the viewers out there have kind of heard us talk about every now and then. But we're working with two different police departments. Well, a sheriff's office and a police department. One in South Carolina, and the police department is in Florida. We should hear tomorrow from the police department on whether or not that is actually going to happen. The sheriff's department, at some point, we're waiting on that. So whichever car we get first, it's going to be like, oh my God, we need to get a cage, because I already have 4 people lined up to drive that car. So if you wanted to drive that car, then you can fill that seat. Unless George, you've been aching to drive, so you obviously get first dibs. So
well, we'll talk later about that. Yeah.
Oh, don't put on the spot.
Well, I mean, me personally, if there's somebody else that wants to drive, I'm always gonna go ahead and give up a seat and all that kind of stuff. But I want these guys to, get out there and experience the fun that it is to be out there on the track and be a part of the family.
And Steven,
man, he's about to retire. At least let him drive. You know what I mean? The guy's a unicorn. Let the unicorn drive.
So I have an additional seat for him to drive in Barbers in November, which is probably one of the best tracks in the U.S. So
passenger seat
we'll
don't
get
count,
him in on
right?
that. It's not a passenger seat, you fantastic person. So, Steven, I know originally, Steven, you and I and Lance and Rican had talked about getting your guys on crew as well. Did you guys still want to do that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I started a watch party myself, but I'd love to get the word out and see, what vets in our area, might want to do something like that.
Okay.
See if we can get a donor to do what needs to get done and get them out there.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. And I know I talked with Lemons and the track already. You guys do not have to pay entry fee. As long as the people in your group say you're with Hidden Wounds, they will not charge you that $30 entry fee to get into the track. So that's awesome.
That's good. That's good.
Which is great. I didn't expect them to do that. We did that once before here in New Orleans, and it was kind of like people were. They made like had to have this list, and it was like this guy wasn't on the list. I'm like, look, does he have an ID card? Yes. Is it military? Yes. Okay, let him in, man. Like, he's not just here to smell the roses, bro. That's not what he's here to do.
He might be there to smell the roses, but
he might be. He gonna smell the roses.
No, there's no roses. There's
maybe some JP8 out there too, you know.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. So that'll be a huge event. So anyways, you guys, Trident Productions is and will always be a part of USMC Racing. Not just their organization with ours. It's the people involved. It's Rican, it's his wife, his kids, John. You know, those guys are going to be at our backs, and we're going to be at theirs, helping each other grow. We obviously can't do a whole lot for him except manual labor. But all the stuff he does for us, as far as
a lot of work, man.
Which is a lot of work.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that movie would not have happened if the crew wasn't behind my back. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody on that crew helped out tremendously. I've got pictures of us putting stuff together. JD, Master Guns, Cress. He sent me a video. I couldn't send it to you because when going from Android to Apple, the quality and all that. But he sent me a little clip, and it was really cool because it was like a video, but it was like one of those time lapse videos, hyperlapse videos.
Yeah.
And it was really cool watching how everybody just came together on the set and made that movie happen. I know that the audience that watched it when we did it for the competition it was probably lost on them in particular. Because it's a civilian crowd, you know what I mean? Most of them didn't have any military experience. Even if their family members did, they probably, just like the movie showed, doesn't really show people actually understanding that mental anguish. But that movie would not have been possible to be made had it not been for people like you, John. JD, Roger, Maria, Melissa, all of them, Laura, all of them played a great tribute. And there was maybe about, I'd say 5 people on set. No, it was a little bit more than that. There were 6 people on set that had nothing to do with the military whatsoever. And they came through, and then I had one guy, the lead actor is a former cop in Atlanta. So that movie was put together by an amazing people.
Yeah, that was super awesome. Ginge, you backed out. Now I gotta change all the. Well, I'm not messing with it. All the names are gonna stay where they're at.
We all know who we are.
Okay. Well, hey guys, Rican, thank you so much for being on. I appreciate it. The drill. Don't go anywhere. Mute yourself. All right, buddy. All right, guys. This was an awesome show. It was fun to bring in people like Jason and Steven in here to kind of help us co-host. It was super fun to have to do that. Nick said his phone died. Whatever, Nick. I don't believe you. Lies.
As he texted you from his phone.
Yeah, Nick. My phone died. Sure it did. Lying sack of doo-doo. Tell the guys I said later. Nicholas says later. Wow. Okay, so that was a great show. It's really good to bring him on. We wanted to do this for a while. Unfortunately, we had to push Jason a week to the right. He wasn't too happy when he called me earlier. Sorry. I saw his number come up on my phone today at work. I'm like, oh shit, he's calling because he wants to know why he was kicked out of his spot. Hello? Hey, why was I kicked out of my spot? Oh man.
For Georgi. And then I looked, I was like, oh, he's having Georgi on there. I didn't mind. I was just like, hey man,
booted me, man.
Hey, no.
At least let me know. We literally work like 20 feet away from each other too. That's even the worst part. I had to call. We're so lazy.
It's easy. So this guy, boop, is going to be on next week. So that'll be super fun. We'll bring him in here. So, Jason, make sure you send me all a bunch of pictures and cool stuff so we can put him on here next week. That'll be fun to hear all about Not Today BCP. Matter of fact, make sure we have a photo of all of the coins you have in your office. Also, all of the medals you have won from all of your races. People need to see that. It's like a shrine to his awesomeness. I mean, you walk in his office, and there's the coolest. He's got the coolest bunch of stuff in there. So he moved offices shortly after I got there. It probably took him 3 hours to move all of that stuff. 40 feet one way, and then walk back, get another load of shiza, come back. Oh, George said you should do the show from your office. Perfect.
I have pictures. I already took everything down, brother. You don't believe
no!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I gotta go.
That would have been perfect. Okay. Well, hey, I'm going to close it out with Adam from Racing for Heroes. He's got something he wants to tell you guys.
Hey, I think he's talking about the October 19th Operation Warrior Resolve Mud Run, and that's out of Alton, Virginia, at the racetrack, Virginia International Raceway. It's being hosted by Racing for Heroes. We're 100% nonprofit, much like U.S. Marine Corps Racing. We supply medical options, employment, tournament programs to get against all opiates, and then we also do our motorsports therapy where we get vets in cars. But we're doing like a mud run, much like a Tough Mudder or a what are the other ones? The Special Forces Challenge. But it's going to be a 3 to 4 mile obstacle course with probably about a dozen Super Frogs, another one, about a dozen obstacles going through mud pits, the monkey bar, and if you check out www.warriorresolvemudrun.com. It's got all the information, and while we're at it, we're actually raffling off a K5 Blazer, like the old Cut V's. I'm not sure if the Marines had those in the pre-Humvee, but a K5 Blazer with 6.2 diesel. We got a bunch of parts from BFG, Rough Country. It's getting fully restored by the hands of by an all-veteran team.
Oh, cool.
So raffle sale, and all the proceeds from the mud run and the K5 go back into the organization and the veteran outreach.
Oh,
so
neat.
I can send y'all a link of the pamphlet, or just check out the warriorresolvemudrun.com. It has all the information you need.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. So if you guys are in that area, make sure you go up there, hit them up. Maybe you'll win a friggin' Blazer. Those things are cool. I wanted one of those as a kid for sure. I mean, I don't know anybody my age growing up didn't want one of those.
Mike's got a stockpile of them, so if you need one, he's also got Crown Vics. So if you need one, talk to him. Like, if that's what you're waiting on, reach out to Mike. He's got Crown Vics everywhere.
He's so busy, man. I text him, and then I'll get a text like 6 days later, and I'm like, why is he texting me? I have to open it up to remember what I even texted him about. I'm like, what in the world?
Have you tried reaching out to Darren? Have you talked to Darren?
No. I just have Mike's info, but it's okay. We'll talk offline. No big deal. But guys, thank you so much. Episode 10 is a wrap. We will see you next week with Jason down here this way, down here in the corner over here. We'll see him next week. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait for that. Steven, buddy, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
we're looking forward. Absolutely, man. And we're looking forward to seeing you in September. So everyone out there in Facebook land, you guys have a fantastic night. See you guys later.